you know, another goddamn sequel show. Oh, what you know, another goddamn sequel show. La 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 la.
Hello? 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 Hold on. It's gonna interfere. Hello? Hello. Check 1 2. Mic check. Check. 1 2 3. Check. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Which one am I? Okay, looks like I'm number 3.
I have no notes. I literally just finished watching the movies.
Same.
I watched The Thirst last night. And the other one I watched like Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Yep. I did that. And then I tried to watch Baby Driver, and it didn't. It didn't work.
I don't want to see that movie. I decided.
It was on like the main screen thing of my thing, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just watch that. And then it didn't play, so I was like, well, I guess I'll go to bed.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Edgar Wright fan. I mean, like, I've liked some of his movies, but it's not like he draws me out to the theater or to the movie. So I'll just check it out sometime.
Isn't he the guy that did Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, but he also did some stuff I didn't like Hot Fuzz and.
Well, no, he was just asking who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So
I thought it was the same guy that did Baby Driver. Or am I wrong on that?
No, I think so.
I don't know who
that
is.
He just doesn't know who Edgar Wright is.
I've seen those movies you mentioned.
He's done Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
I've only seen Shaun of the Dead, which is a great
Scott
movie.
Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, I've seen that too.
I like all 3 of those movies that you mentioned.
Well, you probably like fucking Baby
How the
Driver.
fuck do you lower this?
I don't know, dude.
I think you just have to. It's on the right side.
What's the left one then?
I don't know, man.
I think left one is for the back of the chair.
We're having
that
chair
shit.
malfunctions.
not a malfunction.
Brian's freaking the fuck out.
Trying to get comfortable in an uncomfortable world.
Isn't that your chair? Wasn't it set?
Isn't that life?
Yeah,
Wasn't it set for
I felt
you?
like it was a little high.
You gotta be a little high for this podcast, man.
Does anybody have any sequel news? I have nothing. I don't know.
I have nothing either.
I mean, I think I did have something, but then
It doesn't matter.
I didn't write it down. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm Brian.
I'm David Dawson.
And I'm Mike.
David Matthew Dawson.
And we're back for more.
We're back for more.
Without Kyle
Without
again.
Kyle. Well, I mean, like I said.
No, he's a special guest now.
Yeah,
That's how it
he
works
comes
now.
on, at this point, he comes on 25% of the time, so.
Yeah.
Damn. That's right. He's missed 3 of them.
He's missed 3 out of the last 4, so. That's just how it goes, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's too busy.
He's missed 1 out of the last 1. That's like 100%.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like, how do you actually calculate how many has he been on? Like, seriously, has Brian been on more now?
I think at this point, yeah.
Well, when did you come on? What episode? Or, like, what movie were you watching?
Was it H2? No, it was,
That was before
Fast and
H2.
Furious? Was that the first one?
Yeah. I think I missed one because I missed the Alien Resurrection, or not Resurrection.
Yeah, we didn't do that one.
Covenant.
Right?
I missed
Covenant.
that because that's one you went into theater.
Then
and
you've
saw,
been
but
here for 1 less.
One
Because I
less.
think Fast was our 4th movie we did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you were doing them like monthly at that point.
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of all right when we were filming the skits with it.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make sense for it. Like, I don't know. Kyle's like, I listen to podcasts that are bi-weekly or whatever. It's like, I don't. Like, the only podcasts I listen to, most of the podcasts I listen to are bi-weekly in the sense that are like 2 episodes per week.
Yeah.
Like, I need people that listen to podcasts want it at least once a week. That's just how it goes.
I think that's you personally.
No. Like, other people, most people, podcasts are like such a passive part of their life.
You're saying things like most without anything to back it up except for like you
Except
and the
for,
people
like,
around you.
Yes, every other person besides you that I've met
Yeah.
in my life.
I've
Which is
met
a lot
other
of
people like me that binge podcasts. That'll like,
Most people don't,
sit
though.
aside from a podcast for a while and then
Why
I'll go
would-
through like 4 or 5 episodes
Why
at
would the
once.
majority of podcasts come out weekly if a lot of people binge them? That doesn't make sense. They come out weekly because people want it to show up on their phone once a week.
Well, there are people that do that, and there are people that get it weekly.
Yes,
and there are
like
podcasts that meet that demand.
90% of the people that listen to podcasts want something to
you're
pop up.
You're saying these numbers without
You're
anything.
saying
to...
these numbers without
No, I'm
anything.
not. I'm
yes,
not
you are.
saying any number. I'm not saying most people. I'm saying that you are stating something
That's
that you
true.
have no evidence
That's
of.
absolutely true.
And
I have
I'm just
all the
saying
evidence
I
in the
think
world.
you're wrong because you're not giving me anything to believe you, except that it's just you and the people around
It's
you.
absolutely true.
I'm thinking
100% true.
I'm thinking there's a dip and divide. I'm thinking that there's some people that binge. There's some people that listen weekly. There's some people that maybe listen one episode of a podcast and never listen to it again, and they do that for hundreds of podcasts. I don't even know. There's probably a ton of different ways to listen to podcasts, and I don't think there's one that wins.
The standard is a podcast shows up in your phone at least once a week, and it downloads, and then you listen while you're at work. Or on the drive to work. Most people do not. Why would there be a system if most people didn't listen to them on a regular basis with a schedule?
Do you think that maybe this is the system that's in place because this is just the way you do it? So you're finding this system in podcasts you listen to?
No.
Where you're like, oh, I like podcasts that release weekly because that's the thing I like. So you're listening to podcasts that release weekly.
No.
So if there was a podcast that released monthly, you wouldn't listen to it because you don't like it. You don't like that formatting.
No.
I listen to podcasts that release monthly sometimes.
It's too long.
That's.
But for me, that works
like
out
way
because
too long.
again, I don't I'll go months without listening to a certain podcast, and then I'll binge a whole bunch of
But
episodes.
that means
whole 2 episodes?
That means
You'll binge 2 episodes because they only come out once a month.
That means that you're not the average podcast listener. Like the average podcast listener listens at work, on the way to work, every day. They just listen to podcasts that come in. They don't sit and binge a bunch of fucking episodes. It's a part of their life. Podcasts are a passive media. They just come in, you listen to them to pass time. That's what podcasts are.
I just don't know if it's the majority or the average.
I do. I'm just going to say that I do. Without any evidence, I'm right, you're wrong.
No,
That's
it's all
just
right. That's
it
how
goes.
God works, man.
I am God.
No, I can't disprove that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Started Sunday off with fucking arguing with Mike.
Was it?
Yeah, it was totally arguing.
I don't think it was arguing,
Yeah,
Dave.
see, here we go. Mike likes this. Mike, I don't know if you know this about Mike, but he loves to argue. He loves to argue so much that he doesn't even like when people back down.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people are like, "Oh no, you're right." He's like, "Am I though? Am I really right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that I'm right?" Blah, 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 blah,
You're just
blah.
going along with it because you don't like to argue.
Like
with
he
me.
just likes to be confrontational and just get in people's face. And what if I just punched you one time when we were arguing? Would you
probably have the right to.
Would you argue about the punch, or would you be like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't stop"?
I'd probably.
You'd
punch
be like,
you
"Why'd
back.
you punch me?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What's going on? Why are you doing that?"
I guess it would depend on where you punch me. If you punch me in the face, I'd probably punch you back.
I'd probably knock you out. I'd throw death, or I'd just choke you out. What if I just choked you out? I didn't even punch you.
I'd be fighting back.
I was like, "You need to go to sleep now." The more you fight back, the faster you're gonna go to sleep.
Dave, you have this weird world built in your head right now.
I'm very strong. All right, so what movies did we watch this week?
Well, I watched 2 movies. Did
Yes.
everyone watch 2 movies?
Yes.
Okay. We watched Lost Boys 2 and 3, The Tribe, and The Thirst.
And The Thirst.
It's Lost Tribe.
How do we not Lost Tribe, dude?
Second one's the Lost Tribe.
How do we want to do this? Do we want to just go into both of them at the same time? Do we want to section this off?
I think doing 2 and then 3 works out because they are very different movies.
They are. So we want to start with 2. Do we want to start with
our
our-
past experience with the franchise, which is 60% these 2 movies?
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about how do you feel about Lost Boys? How do you feel about?
I think it's fun.
Also,
flick.
basically, we're a vampire podcast at this point.
Yes.
So, we only do vampire movies.
Great.
now. But yeah, I mean, I love Lost Boys, the original one. I always have. It was like a movie that I loved when I was a kid too, and I don't know. I never saw these ones until now, but yeah.
It's great. It's it's one of the best vampire movies.
In my opinion, it's the vampire movie. If I'm gonna watch a vampire movie, why the fuck would I watch anything else? For me personally. Oh my fucking God, Brian!
I didn't do it the last 2 times. I forgot.
You
Chill.
didn't do it the last time. I'm pretty sure.
Whatever. Well, that's 1.
God damn, dude.
It's fine.
Mike, how do you feel about Lost Boys?
Well, I never saw it as a kid. I only saw it a couple of years ago for the first time.
Damn. A couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was
That's
just one that
weird.
flew by me growing up. I never saw it
Flew by him.
like a vampire in the night. But I watched it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was all right.
It's all right. Like,
Yeah.
what's your like? What do you like vampire? Like, I don't even like vampire movies that much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I like Lost Boys so much, because it's not like a
Yeah,
the vampirism is like very like limited. I feel
Yeah.
like in this franchise, or at least that one.
No, and I think that works though, because to me, I like the first one as it kind of sets up this like the kid. I like movies where kids save the day, and it's like because the parents don't believe them, and it's like the kids know the truth, and all that. Like, you know, it's just a fun.
You're making me not like Lost Boys. 'Cause
Yeah.
I hate
It's
movies
the
like
worst.
that.
They're at least like teenagers.
Yeah, teenagers make it better, but
Yeah.
like when it's like kids like the Goonies, like oh my, boo, I'm bored. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so bored. Fuck a kid. I hate them.
I'm fine with stuff like that, so I was okay with the movie, but it's like it just didn't resonate with me really. But then again, I'm not a big vampire guy.
I'm not either though, but like I think that's why I like it so much, because it's like not the typical.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about like badass kids than vampires. It's just about like punk kids
Yeah.
that happen to be vampires.
I like
love it.
I like the mystery piecing things together, where it's like, you know, oh, here's something that's like you're familiar with from vampire lore because of this, but we're gonna do a little twist on it, and it's
Yeah.
like, and I like that. I like that bits of stuff. It reminded me kind of Monster Squad kind of stuff, and I really dig Monster Squad. So I liked that, and I like the effects in the first one too. There's just a lot of good stuff in the first one.
Yeah.
And I like the setup.
Do you like the soundtrack?
Um,
Do you like fucking weird greasy guy? What's his name?
Tim Capello.
Tim Capello, the saxophone guy.
no idea.
Jesus
What do you mean?
Christ.
No idea. It's like one of the
one of the best-
pinnacle.
yeah.
It's the pinnacle of the fucking narrative.
And it's very early on.
Yeah.
I miss
They're
like we're
at-
talking about. It's been a while since I've seen the first one.
You said like a couple years ago, man. This should be like in your brain, fresh. This one scene, nothing else. You should have forgot
Dude,
everything
I've
else.
seen a lot of movies in the last couple of years. It didn't resonate with me.
There-
Like I remember watching it and thinking, oh, that's pretty good, but it's like I couldn't tell you.
You
jack
don't
shit about it.
remember the scene where they're all at the concert and there's this giant, muscular, greasy guy playing the saxophone, and that's the first time that he sees Star.
Do not remember that.
Ugh.
In fact, I forgot the villain's name was Star until just now.
It's
Or
not
wait.
the villain. It's
Who's-
like
the
it's like
girl.
the villain's girlfriend, kind of, but then
Oh, okay.
or whatever, vampire girlfriend. I don't know
Yeah.
how that shit works.
Oh yeah, because he falls. He
he
goes
falls
for the girl,
vampire girl who's
and
like
she
half
like
vampire
ropes
or
him
whatever.
into the whole
Yeah.
cult thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I
And then
remember that.
And then they fucking eat worms or whatever. And then,
Yeah, and he tricks him. Is like, yeah, oh, it's maggots. No, it's rice.
dude,
whatever.
Kiefer Sutherland is he is a vampire. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Like he's a goddamn vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to the tribe.
The Tribe.
Lost
The
Tribe.
Lost Tribe.
It's the Lost Tribe.
Is it the Lost Tribe?
Yeah, it's the Lost Tribe.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's
think
Lost
it's just
Boys,
the Lost
the
Boys
Tribe.
colon the Tribe.
I'm
Pretty sure it's
almost.
Lost.
I will
wrote
look it
Lost.
up.
I
I
don't
will
fucking
literally
know.
look it up right now.
It
Keep
is-
talking while
it is
I look
just
it
the
up.
Tribe.
No, I'm confused. I'm stupid,
No,
I
it's
guess.
just-
I mean, you are stupid.
It is just the Tribe, but that
Damn it.
doesn't matter. I want to call it the Lost Tribe now.
It sounds better.
It does.
Yeah, Lost Boys, the Tribe.
Fuck.
You fucking
Why isn't it
moron.
it should be the Lost Tribe.
Mhm.
Sounds
I mean,
better.
that would be a better title, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that could have been
Like,
better in this movie.
Like,
so.
almost everything.
But I wanted to talk about. Did you know that the main vampire, the main vamp, if you will, in this movie is the half brother or step brother of Kiefer Sutherland,
Really?
Angus Sutherland or something. His name is?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
To me, I wasn't really digging the head vampire in the
Yeah, I
Lost
mean-
Tribe.
I mean he's like not that good.
No,
yeah, see, now it's the Lost Tribe. We just renamed it.
I mean,
We're making their movie
Mike would
better.
have done something like that anyways. I don't.
It just sounds better.
You got vamp killed. You got.
Yeah, the Vampire State Capital.
Isn't that actually a thing in the Thirst? We can talk about that when it comes.
Yes, we can.
We can talk about
when
that
we
later.
get there.
So do we want to just do you want to break down the
Yeah,
tribe
I'll go through a synopsis.
synopses?
Yeah, let me
Oh my god.
pull it up real quick.
Jesus,
Well,
Jesus
let's
Louises.
just let me just do a quick synopsis.
Yeah, very quick.
Have you seen The Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Well, then you've seen The Lost Boys too.
Yeah. Except like
Except
not as
not
good. Not
good,
nearly
yeah.
as
Not
good.
nearly, but it's like
It's the same. It is the
it's
same.
the same kind of setup. You know, a couple siblings are
Weird,
going.
except for this time, it's like it's a male and a female, and for me, makes it the weirdest relationship ever. Like, why the fuck? Like, do you want to fuck your sister? Like, I don't understand.
I
Like,
wasn't
why,
getting that vibe.
Why? I was totally getting that vibe.
yeah.
They were.
I
they
was
were
getting
cheating-
like the
felt it.
overprotective brother
yeah,
vibe.
like he wanted to fuck her. He didn't want anybody else to fuck her.
Oh my
Dude.
god.
Did you? Was I
Yeah,
the only
no,
one?
I it was there.
Yeah, it was totally there. It's like that weird. Like, also, they're supposed to be teenagers. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
she's supposed to be
teenagers,
17
but they're
or
like
something.
clearly like 25.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
threw
like
me off when the aunt asks, "How old is she?"
she's like 17.
And I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, okay, there's whole different circumstances in this movie when she's like getting felt up by the weirdo vampire and stuff like that.
I'm just saying, like, there's definitely weird undertones. Like, when they first showed up, like, the only reason that I would think that they're brother and sister is because there's literally dialogue that says, like, brother, like, they say it. Other than that, I'd be like, why is this couple, like, so pissed off at each other all the time? That's what I would think. But they literally had to place dialogue in there so that people know.
I was getting a brother-sister vibe from, like, she being, like, the annoying little sister that's, like, dragging him along and getting into trouble, and he has to try and pull her out of it. That's the kind of vibe I was getting.
I was getting the vibe where he wanted to fuck his sister. That's the vibe I was getting. Anyways, continue.
All right. So, well, the movie opens on a bunch of surfer dudes hanging out at Tom Savini's beach.
Yeah. Which is probably the greatest scene in that movie.
It is fantastic.
I thought we were in for a treat when that scene.
Dude, I have a note going, well, I'm sold. Like, right at the start. It's like, Tom Savini says, get off my beach. And he goes all vampire. And they're like, no way, bro. And they go all vampire.
No way, bro.
And they fucking rip him apart. And, like,
cut his fucking head off.
A guy punts the head, and it hurts his fucking foot. It's so good.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that intro. I was so ready for this movie after that intro. But then we meet the brother-sister. And they're in California because their parents died in a car accident, and they're going to go live with their aunt. But their aunt's like a total buzzkill, not cool, and is charging them rent. And so it's like they're not in a fun place. And then the brother gets invited to a surfer party, and he's like, I don't want to go. It's weird. But the sister's being all like weird about it. She's like, no, let's go. We got to go to a party. Let's have fun. And so they go. I think it's because the aunt brings in the Goonies and some product placement, and they're like, okay, we can't stick around for this, so we better get out of here. And so they go to the surfer party, and the dude starts fucking a surfer groupie in the shower, and the sister starts getting lured into being a vampire by the leader vampire guy.
Yeah, Kiefer's half-brother,
Kiefer's half-brother, Sutherland. And the brother's pissed off about this, so he takes her home. And after he gets home, then the slutty vampire or the slutty surfer groupie shows up, and it turns out she's a vampire. And he accidentally impales her on some antlers, and she explodes into stone bits. And so
horrible
now
effects, by the way.
Yeah. Well, the practical effects are fucking great.
I agree. There's just like blood spraying everywhere, and that stuff's good.
But they do like two special effect kills with like the stone explosion and a guy on fire at the end, and they look fucking awful. And I'm like, you have Tom Savini doing these amazing. I'm assuming it was Tom Savini because he made a cameo.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was like, I don't want to do effects on this movie.
Yeah. But whoever did them did a great job at the practicals.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now he knows something is fucking weird going on. So he goes and finds Corey Feldman, and Corey Feldman tells him the plot of the movie and says, oh, your sister's a half vampire now, and you're going to have to kill the head vampire, but the only way that you can get in close enough is if you, like, become a vampire.
Yeah, you got to become at least, like, half vampire. Yeah. At least.
And so, like, he just lays out what's going to happen for the next half hour. And the sister finds out she's a vampire, and like the only other fun scene in the movie where it's like she freaks out at the mirror and goes, "But I'm a vegetarian."
That's a pretty funny joke. I went.
So the brother has to like earn the vampire's trusts, and so he does that by like joining him in a police chase, and also joining him on a beach where they're gonna kill some girls. But he can't kill the girl. He can't kill his girl. So
did we? Sorry, I had a text message come in while this was happening. Did we skip over the Frog Brothers, or are we talking about them?
No, I mentioned.
You mentioned. Okay.
I mentioned that. I just want to make sure explains the plot.
I like
of the
blacked
movie
out
too.
during like half of your synopsis. So
I have most of it because it's as boring as the movie.
It's a very boring movie. It's awful. Just what's the end?
Well, the end is he teams up with Corey
Spoiler
Feldman
alert.
again, and they start killing all the vampires, and then they reach the end and they kill the head vampire, and then it's done. It's like the most anticlimactic ending.
But did you know there's a post-credit scene?
I didn't stick around for that.
Brian,
I also did not stick around because it was just like, it's done. I can't be happier.
It features Corey Haim. What? He comes back as what's his name? Sam? Is it Sam?
Yeah.
He comes back as Sam, who's a vampire. And basically, I like it. It seemed like it was like Edgar. Is that his name? Edgar? Frog.
the frog brother.
Him
Yeah.
and Sam, like, kind of like about to face off, and then it cuts to black and goes back to credits. So I'm assuming they were trying to set up a sequel with Corey Haim, but then Corey Haim was like, I don't want to do that one, but I'll do a fourth one if that comes out, and then he died, so he's not in it. But yeah, the post-credit scene features Corey Haim as a vampire. That's pretty tight. I didn't stick around either. I looked it up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, man, like,
No,
after that
I am
ending,
not
I
that
was
dedicated. Yeah,
I was so ready to leave that movie after that ending.
I am not that dedicated to Lost Brothers, Lost Boys Brothers,
Lost Boys
the
lore?
tribe, the
Yeah.
Lost Tribe Brothers,
The Lost Lore.
the Lost Brothers tribe.
Wow, Lost Boys 2. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I do want to say I like some of the ideas in here. I like surfer vampires.
I mean,
think
I'm
that's
into
a good
that.
idea.
I'm into that radical surfer
Yeah.
vamps.
I'm into the idea of like a guy having to become part vampire to like go into the tribe and like kind of learn their ways. I liked
Yeah.
that idea a bit. And I did
Isn't that like from the?
it's-
That's the original though.
I mean,
like,
essentially.
he like did it on accident in the original though.
Well, yeah, but the one that's trying to be saved is the one that's becoming like a half vampire, though.
Yeah.
I liked this in that the guy was like, I have to save my sister, but the only way I can is by like
Drinking
jumping
this
in.
fucking gross blood stuff.
Yeah.
And getting cool teeth.
Yeah.
I don't. Before we get into this movie,
All right.
why would you not want to be a vampire?
Well, you get a lot of weaknesses at that point. No more sunlight. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to
that's fine with
start.
me.
You're gonna have to start killing people.
It's fine,
fine.
with me.
And there's gonna probably be people that want to kill you.
It's fine.
You're okay with all those things?
Yeah, pretty much.
You see, like that's the
You can,
opposite of a normal life for me. So
you
I
can
probably
but you can like live forever. You can just stay young. Nothing hurts you as long as nothing.
there's
stabs
too many
you in the
asterisks
heart.
attached to it. And first of all, it's not like live forever, because like you can still die by not feeding. That's why they have
Well,
to
yeah,
feed.
I know. All you gotta do is fucking.
That's just like being. I mean, I would
Yeah,
die right now if I
that's like-
didn't.
No,
eat.
that's what I'm saying. Is like you're like, oh, I want to be a vampire. It's like, but you're in the same boat. You have to
Sounds
eat
better.
or you
it
die.
sounds way better.
You're so strong.
You're very strong. I
You
could
can
like get
ba-
hit by a car. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you could pretty
I
much
could pick up a car
fly
probably.
almost.
Hey, you can fly almost. Sounds awesome. You could surf apparently.
Why do you want to be out in the day anyway?
In the daytime fucking blows.
It's hot. It's hot out. Ugh. Ugh.
You
No,
can
it's-
you can still go to work. All you gotta do is like wear a hood when you.
Why work when you're immortal, dude?
Well, okay, see,
See,
there,
that-
you don't have to
Exactly.
work.
No.
You don't fucking have to work anymore.
No, like these are positive things. It's just the downside's too big. It's like
It's not. It's exactly like being what you are right now.
Except for that you have to eat humans. That's the only thing.
yeah.
I'm fine
See,
with that.
see, that's a big loss for me. Is
you
Yeah,
can
having
I
to
still eat
murder
Chinese
people.
food.
You can still eat Chinese food. It might be worms. I don't know, but you could still eat it. All right. So, anyways, I'm a vampire. So continue.
Oh no, that's fair. I mean,
It is
like
what
you're
you were
just
saying.
defending your culture at that point. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. You're
But-
being racist, actually. So whatever.
Damn.
Well, I was just talking about how like this movie has a couple good ideas in it, but it's just man, the first half of this movie is just fucking trucking. Like it is hitting these plot points like
Yeah.
a fucking marathon runner. Like it is going through these things so fast where it's like, oh, we're just gonna immediately establish vampires, immediately establish he's half vampire, immediately establish what you're gonna have to do it. And then I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're only halfway through this movie. What's gonna happen? Oh, it's gonna have like 2 or 3 more musical montages that are going to a sex scene, going to a police chase that's completely uneventful, going to a vampire chasing some dude we don't even like know who it is through a warehouse. Like there's just so much fucking shit in the second half of this movie, and it's not like the first half is good. It's like the first half is like rushing through shit to the second half that does nothing. And really the two things I liked about this movie is that opening scene and all the vampire deaths. And it's mainly because of the effects. Like I feel like the vampire deaths should be sprinkled throughout the movie to like kind of sustain how cool it is, and then you have this climactic ending. But instead it's like, no, we're just going to put all the stuff at the end there and have this like fucking petered out bullshit ending where he's just punching the guy in the face a lot and then she stabs him and then he's dead, and it's like, wow, okay, that's it? That's all that's going to happen? Like, and I didn't like the main villain either. He felt like some kind of fucking vampire commune leader rather than like an actual leader of a vampire pact. Like I felt like he was so like, oh, like, whatever, let him
He was
go.
trying.
I
He was
didn't
just trying to fill his half stepbrother's
Yeah.
footsteps and did very poorly.
Yeah.
Because Kiefer is a vampire. like I
Kiefer
said.
felt like a fucking leader. He
He
felt
is-
like
yeah,
he
but
was
he's-
leading those
I'm just
vampires.
saying, like he is a vampire in real life. There's no way that he's not, because oh my god,
He pulled it off that
he
well.
pulled it off so well that he is a vampire. Yeah, the only things that I liked about the movie were, like you said, the beginning, the first scene with Tom Savini getting his head cut off and punted into the ocean. That was tight. I also liked there was like a little bit like the surfer bros. They would like fuck with each other and like stab each other because they can't die. Like that.
He's filming it.
Yeah, he's like filming
cuts
it.
the guy's
like,
guts out.
Yeah, and his guts are like falling
Bro, I was
out.
gonna bang that
Exactly.
chick.
I love that dynamic. Like I wish there was even there's like 2 scenes where that happens.
Yeah, they're on. Like,
I wish
the
it was
couch.
like a
They're
little
playing
bit more.
Fucking video game.
Yeah, I
he's
was
like
expecting him to stab him and then like beat him in the game and like
That
be
would
like,
be
"Oh,
funny,
you're
too.
cheating, bro! I can't even."
That would be funny, but it's still funny. He stabs him through the couch. And
Yeah.
just like sticks. He's like, "Fuck, dude!
Yeah.
Come on, bro!" Like I love that shit. I thought that was funny. And then everything else was terrible except for Corey Feldman. Corey
He was
Feldman.
very good in this.
Yes.
I mean, he's very good. He's good at that character. Like,
Yeah,
that's his fucking
That's-
character.
maybe
gonna
he is
say
him.
it's-
He's really
He
a
is
vampire
really
hunter.
vampire
Yeah.
hunter.
He's trying to kill Kiefer
But
Sutherland
like
for real.
my problem with the second one as opposed to the third one, which we'll get into soon, is that he's only in the second one for like I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes on screen
Yeah.
total, 5 to 10 maybe. I don't know.
He's definitely not a main character.
No.
That didn't bother me as much. What bothered me was his role in the movie. I would be okay with him like being like a spice of life in the scenes that he's in, but he shows up to just exposition dump,
Yeah.
to just tell us what's happening and tell us what's going to happen, rather than to like be a cool, fun character.
I think I read somewhere that he was just supposed to be like a like a funny like he's in the movie, but then his role got a little bit bigger or something. I don't know. Also, we didn't even mention fat fucking
Yeah.
Tim Capella in the.
I mean, it wasn't really him.
No,
but
no,
there
I
was,
know, but
There was a it
at
cut.
the very beginning.
Was it the beginning? No,
it was
like,
pretty. It was pretty
like-
close to the beginning. It was after the intro. but
Yeah,
it was
I
like,
feel
I thought it was right when they got into town. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe it was doing
So,
cuts
the
of
beginning-
town, and it showed fucking like a fat Tim Capella playing saxophone, but it wasn't really him because he still looks buff.
Oh,
Yeah, he's still the real life Tim Capella. Still goes to like conventions and
Yeah.
plays that fucking saxophone.
He lives off of the Lost Boys.
He lives.
basically.
Off, I mean, I would too if I were a fucking muscled up, greasy.
So good.
Yeah, simply. It's so
so
good.
good.
It's amazing. I cannot fucking believe
That
I don't remember
made-
that scene.
Every time they use "Cry Little Sister,"
That okay.
Oh my
so,
god.
Okay, so
I mean that part of the movie sucked. It was like the weird where
That-
he fucked her, and
yes,
but like
that,
it
that
used
part of
it
the,
and it was
that,
great.
That part of the movie sucked. But if because that song is in the trailer, if that song would not have been in the movie, I would have fucking like broke the disc in half. And
To me,
thrown
at
it out
that
the fucking
point,
window.
that song is Lost Boys.
Oh, it
is
totally
Lost
is.
Boys. If that's not in the fucking movie, it's not a goddamn Lost Boys movie. Okay.
It's in the third one twice, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
How do you feel about the second
I
one?
feel like we've covered basically everything there is.
Fat
It's,
Tim Capella, Tom Savini,
Cry Little Sister,
Cry Little Sister, funny gut stuff.
Yeah, it's
The Frog Brother. That's
the one brother. It's just not. It's not a good movie.
it's a very
very
not good
bad.
movie.
And it'll lure you in with that intro.
Yeah, the intro is
and it's
very
like,
good.
And then it'll start trucking through these plot points, and you'll be like, "Wow, this movie's really moving along through all this stuff." And then it just
Here's my question though. Here's my question about the intro. Like, did it have any other significance other than being a cool like kill? Like, why was he a vampire?
Isn't
also?
that the house? Didn't they steal his house?
Oh,
though?
is that what it is?
I think so.
Oh,
I
I
don't
didn't
remember
even-
house that
honestly.
they're using.
I think that's the house that
Well,
they kill him, and
you were paying closer attention than I was because that did not even. That
Yeah.
makes sense though. That would,
Yeah, that's a hell of a
that,
setup. Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
yeah.
So that's
So
fine.
really, no, it didn't. But also,
No, that
it
does.
Yeah.
That does though, because like at first, like when I watched the movie, I'm just like, that was a cool scene, but like, why did they just kill vampire Tom Savini?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? Was it just a cool scene, or did it have anything to do with the story? But if that's true, then
Yeah, I think I don't remember.
oh great, we have no
Yeah,
idea.
well, it's just a setup that these
makes
surfer
sense.
vampires are bad dudes.
yeah, but like, why do they kill? My question was like, why are they killing another vampire? Like, I know that happens
Because it's
Yeah.
the
but
tribe.
Like, but like,
They're
what's the significance of that particular kill? Like, I thought it was gonna come back at some point. Like, oh, you killed this guy,
Yeah.
you know, but it didn't.
There
so.
could have been like a elder
rival
well,
tribe.
not even that. I was thinking like he's an elder vampire, so they took him out to be like, we're fucking cool. Now we stabbed your guts or
Now
something.
you're just making shit
I'm
up.
absolutely making stuff up, but it makes sense.
Right? You are
sounds
making
good.
You are making up a more compelling version of this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And,
so.
and he's not the only one to do that, because there was one line where and I only noticed this after watching the third one, but Emerson is the last name of the characters,
Yeah.
the family from the first movie, and there was like one line in Lost Tribe where he mentions that their last name is Emerson as well.
Who?
And I was like,
okay.
the brother. And I was
Okay.
like, oh
So
shit,
they're,
are they like
relatives?
related? And I look it up, dude. There's a fucking rabbit hole. There's a Lost Boys
Really?
wiki, and you will get lost in the fucking
Damn.
rabbit hole. There's comic books on this. There is fan fiction galore.
Fan fiction?
When you said you're making up a more compelling story, hundreds of people have made up more compelling
down.
Time to
stories.
start writing fan fiction.
You know, we might have to return to this series at some point. Just do like a
Well,
second chance.
I actually
No.
saved a little bit
No.
here because it was so fucking crazy.
All right. Well, lay it on us, bro. There should be a new section of our podcast, like a new thing that we do every week. We should like look up fan fiction of
Hell yeah.
the franchise.
Or we just make a separate fan fiction podcast.
We could do that. That's a lot of work though, and we can barely get 4 people here
Yeah.
once a week. So, I mean, Kyle would not want to be involved in that one, anyways. But
He doesn't want people to know about. He doesn't want his students to find out he writes fan fiction.
no.
Well, I'm going to start. Noted scholar Hans Rodenoff states surfers are so territorial, they run in these packs and their lives are dedicated to the tides. Tides are dictated by the moon. What other things in this world are
Goddamn.
dictated by the moon?
Oh my god.
Certain parties have speculated that Shane Powers and the tribe were in fact not vampires, but werewolves.
Oh my god.
If this was true, there is a chance that Nicole and Chris Emerson may not have been half vampires, but are now currently full werewolves.
Holy shit.
Whether Shane Powers' tribe is the same or two groups of supernatural beings wreaking havoc in the same town is currently unknown. All other witnesses to the 2008 Luna Bay events are either dead or missing, as Edgar Frog his only reply to the comment on werewolves is no comment.
Damn.
So they're saying that what if they're all werewolves? Like, there's a whole fan fiction built
I
around
love-
the idea.
I love that idea. However, they're vampires, so that's the thing.
They're getting impaled by a heart. Is that a werewolf thing?
Yeah, I don't.
Like-
also, like they don't look like werewolves.
Yeah.
They don't turn into a wolf at any point.
They only
so-
go out at night.
Yeah, they are. Again, I love when people like get nerdy and fucking do this shit and make up their own theories and stuff. But like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me about it. Is as soon as I read like they're werewolves, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. That doesn't make a goddamn
Yeah,
thing
it
of
makes
sense. It's
no
like,
sense.
There was like a half second of neat idea to like, wait, they get
Like,
hurt by UV
If
lights.
there were like one shred of evidence, then I would be like, maybe, and then I would dedicate the rest of my life to trying to prove that the Lost Boys is about werewolves, not vampires.
Well, dude, the wiki is ridiculous because I just looked it up to see if they were like same, and it's like there's people saying, oh, they might be like the children, they might be cousins, but then it's like, no, they're werewolves, and I'm like,
You're like, what?
Where the fuck did this come from? And I click that link, and I'm down the fucking rabbit hole.
But that's the problem with the theory is that it like there's nothing to it. Like you
No,
can't,
like, that's
like,
it, is-
like maybe they're brothers, maybe they're siblings, maybe they're kids, maybe they're werewolves. Like that is that's how crazy it is. That's fucking hilarious.
That's just something I had to share after looking that up. There's a whole wiki, man,
There's a whole
dedicated
world.
to the Lost Boys.
There's a
and all
whole
the
internet
comic
world.
books. Apparently, one of the Lost Boys comic books also makes a cameo in the background of the third movie.
Oh
when
yeah,
he's at the comic book shop.
I saw that trivia.
Yep.
Reign of Frogs.
I didn't actually see it in the movie, but I saw
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't have been
either.
able to pick it out for you.
Yeah.
But
Is any you guys haven't read any of the comic books? Do you know
No.
anything about that world? How many are there? What like?
My guess is that it follows Frog around.
Yeah,
That's my guess.
Reign of Frogs. That's what it's called. So.
Oh, it's Reign of Frogs. Yeah, Reign of
That's
Frogs.
what that one is. I don't know if there's multiple. I'm assuming there's multiple
Yeah.
stories and stuff.
Well, apparently there's a wiki dedicated to it, so there better be more than just one comic
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, but that one is called Reign of Frogs, which is probably tight.
probably
Let's be
it's probably
honest,
all
yeah.
right. At least all right.
All right, so
But-
let's jump to.
well, Forgot.
Oh, we got more.
The
We got
big-
more.
One of the biggest things I completely forgot. I wrote. It was the first note I made. All the overdubbed dialogue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
Fuck,
God.
It's
It
so
sounds-
bad. Dude.
It's like you can tell. It's like it cuts into like a megaphone or something, or in like
Yeah.
a can, and it's just like. Wah, wah,
It's
wah, wah.
honestly, other than like some of the practical effects, the quality of this movie is garbage.
It's ridiculously low.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like, was this made with $20,000? I don't know.
It really it's. Oof.
I have to actually keep talking. I have to look up.
You have to
the
look up
fucking-
that budget.
I have to look up the budget of the tribe.
Well, then I guess I can start getting into
Yeah, start getting into the third one.
Lost Boys 3: The Thirst. Well, it's not even
Thirst.
3. It's just Lost
It's
Boys:
just the thirst, but
The
it is the
Thirst.
third one.
The Thirst Boys.
The Thirst Boys.
Thirst Boys. Damn.
Damn, that's a good band name. Write that down. The
Thirst Boys.
Thirst Boys. That's us, dude. Thirst Boys. We're always getting drinks and stuff. We're the Thirst Boys.
Well, Thirst Boys does a little bit of a new angle, and we're following around Corey Feldman the whole time.
Which is what should have been. Like, why would you even go any other way for a sequel?
Well, we'll
to
get to
Lost
that.
Boys?
We'll get to that.
Continue, please.
Yeah. But anyway, he's hanging out in his trailer, and Stephenie Meyer, I think, is the author of Twilight, right? But anyway, some Stephenie Meyer insert shows up and says, "Hey, there's this crazy vampire rave that's going all across
vampire
the world,
rave.
all
Any
across this world."
movie with a vampire rave is good, in my opinion. No matter what the quality of the rest of the film, it's good.
Well, I'm trying to think of a counterexample, and I'm struggling right now. So
Yeah.
we'll let you stick with that.
Yeah,
until we find
it's truth. We'll come back to it the next time we do a vampire movie, which is probably in the next week. 'Cause that's what we do
Jesus
now.
Christ,
We just are a vampire.
We're vampires
podcast.
now.
We're vampires.
Vampire sequel
Dude,
podcast.
We're the Thirst Boys, bro.
Back for more thirst. So she says there's this vampire rave going across the globe, spreading this new drug
Hang
called
on.
the Thirst.
So I'm looking up Lost Boys: The Tribe 2008, and this is estimated, but it says budget. Like, am I reading this right? $4,200,000.
What?
4.2.
Yeah, that's
It says
4.2
estimated budget.
million.
That's all in the effects then, man.
All in the effects and probably Feldman. That's probably it.
The Feldman and Tom Savini duo
yeah.
is $4 million.
Yeah, probably. So now you know how much it costs to get both of those people.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. That when you look at things like that, like, I just made a movie. Like, most people probably wouldn't like my movie, but I just made a movie that I think is better than Lost Boys: The Tribe for $1,000. Basically,
I don't know if I'd go that far. Their effects were way better than ours.
I don't know about that, man. You're a regular Tom Savini.
You do me too much of a kindness.
But okay, other than the shitty effects you did, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like my movie more than The Tribe. I don't know what Gen Pop would say about that, but I mean, $4.2 million for that fucking piece of shit.
That's a lot of money
That's
for
so,
Lost Boys
what
2.
do you fucking do? What would I do with that amount of money?
You'd probably make Lost Boys 4.
Yeah, I probably would.
It would probably just be that song over and over
Yes,
again
it
Hell
would.
yeah.
With,
to Keith Sutherland
yeah,
eating people.
I would certainly get him back in the movie somehow.
Just get him and Tim Capello.
Yeah,
And then just
they would
play
team up. They would
yeah.
team up.
To fight Corey Feldman.
Oh my god, he would make him a vampire. Was he a vampire?
I don't think so. I don't know. It never really. It didn't go into it because
See, that's what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
getting $4.2 million. I'm digging into the Tim Capella story. I want to know what his story is and why he was in that movie.
I mean, they probably were like, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?"
Yeah, but we're getting into fanfic. Like, I want there to be more.
Yeah.
He's a werewolf.
He's a werewolf.
Damn.
He's not hairy enough though. He's like very hairless, actually.
Well, that's what happens is when he turns back, all the hair falls off.
He's just like too greasy. I feel like.
He's
Too greasy to be a werewolf.
He's so oily and wet looking.
I just like I've never met a werewolf in real life, but I just imagine that they are not that greasy. I don't know.
They probably smell bad.
They probably smell like shit. I imagine Tim Capella smelling like a strip club, so and that's not what werewolves smell like. Again, I've never met a werewolf, but they do not smell like a strip club. They smell like probably dog shit.
Yeah.
Wet dog.
Wet dog, BO, and dog shit. All right, so the third one. Sorry.
No
sorry,
problem.
I got on this fucking budget
So,
thing.
like, there's a vampire rave glowing across the globe, and it's turning people into vampires by giving them a fake drug that's actually just vampire blood. And the rave is making a tour stop in California. So the Stephenie Meyer insert shows up to Corey Feldman and says, "Hey, we got to go in there and we got to kill these vampires." And it turns out the big head vampire is going to be there. So if you kill him, you solve the vampire problem for like ever.
Yeah,
like,
you can just like get rid of
get rid of
vamps, dude.
vampires forever. And so Corey Feldman's like, "No, I'm not doing it."
Yeah, no, too much work.
But then he goes and he talks to his brother, who is a vampire.
Is he a vampire or is he half vampire?
I think he's.
He.
Oh wait, yeah, he's
I think
probably
he's-
never fed,
yeah.
so he's still just
Yeah,
half
he's like
vampire.
half.
He's fighting it, dude.
He's fighting it. Yeah, been fighting it for a while now. But his brother, who's half vampire, and his brother's like,
Alan Frog.
"Fuck it, I don't want to be part of it." And then Corey Feldman's like, I'm going to do it for my brother and for her brother.
It's a pyramid scheme, dude.
Yeah.
That's what he called it.
Yeah, it's all pyramids. There's going to be another vampire.
Which is
and
great.
another vampire.
Which is great. I love that.
And so Corey Feldman agrees to it. And so he's like, all right, let's go do this. And he's got to put like a team together or something. But she like, the Stephanie Meyer insert invites like a reality show host that doesn't even believe in vampires,
Yeah.
but he's like a strong guy.
He thinks it's like he's just gonna beat up some goth kids or something.
Yeah.
He thinks it's all. Everybody thinks it's like a
fake thing.
Yeah, fake.
And Corey invites his friend Zoe, who's like a comic book nerd, and
Who's,
she
like,
knows
super
about
hot.
vampires too. And then he gets
Very big
all
nose,
these
I'm
weapons.
very into it.
He gets a bunch of weapons together too. So he's like decked out. He's ready to go in, storm of the vampire castle kind of thing. And they go in there, and they're starting to run into like the vampire home base, which is like a fucking butcher shop or something like that. And they're fighting off vampires. And then reality show host dies. Corey Feldman gets stabbed, and so then they just leave. And they go back to the beach again, literally just so that they can have a time skip, so that way it's nighttime now, and they got to go back and fight him at night. And they go in there, and the rave is going on, and all the kids are turning into vampires, and hell's breaking loose. And Feldman shows up, and they have the boss fight, and it looks like Feldman's going to lose, but then his brother shows up. And then they have a 2-on-1 boss fight, and they win, and they kill the DJ vampire, but it turns out
He's not the guy.
he's not the head vampire. All the vampires are still vampires. And so then it's revealed that the Stephanie Meyer insert this whole time was like trying to get her brother back. It's not her brother. She starts like making out with him.
Yeah, dude.
He is the head vampire, even though he's just a kid.
It's all he does. That he's ugh.
Yeah.
So good.
Weird. But it turns out he's the head vampire, and this whole time the DJ guy was gonna like eat him and become the new head vampire. So the head vampire's like, hey, you know what? I'm actually the big boss battle. And then like it goes through like 3 different things where he tries to turn Corey Feldman into a vampire, and then he says, no, I want you to kill other vampires because there's too many of them. And then he goes, no, I want your brother to kill you because I can control vampires.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know what's really going on, but they still win.
Yeah, they win.
And that's the end.
That's the end. Potentially of the series. Like, I don't know if they.
Yeah,
ever
there's
plan
no more
on-
vampires. They tease at the end that, oh shit, werewolves are here.
Well, they were going. That goes back to Corey Haim was gonna come back, and they were planning on doing. I think they were planning on doing a TV series though,
Maybe.
or something that was them fighting werewolves. But then Corey Haim died, and
That's one of the vibes I got from this. Is I was like, I'm getting like a freaking TV show vibe where it's like he has his brother that's a half vampire and is always like, there's always gonna be another one, and it's like, and you got Corey Feldman that's always trying to find the next one, and then you got these other wacky characters, a reality show host that, you know, is suddenly realizing it's all real, and his like girlfriend basically, or that will they won't they, and like I was like, holy shit, this is like a fucking TV show that I'm watching that's all in one movie.
Yeah.
I dug that.
I mean, especially compared to the second one.
yeah,
This one is amazing. Like, I wouldn't call it a great movie, but like, damn, this is what
it was a serviceable sequel.
I think a sequel to the Lost Boys
Yeah.
should have been. It should have been focused around the Frog Brothers for sure, because that's just it's so obvious. Like, that's just make it funnier. You know, it's good. I don't know, man.
yeah.
It was a lot better than the second one. I don't know about that. I wasn't really paying attention to the effects that much. The effects weren't as good, probably, like the practicals.
Well, they didn't do much with them.
Yeah.
Like they did the dissolve kill for every vampire.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
was-
not as well done as in like Blade 2.
Yeah, it was a pretty. It seemed like a.
Otherwise, the
knockoff
effects
of
were
Blade
just
2.
standard.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't amazing. There was like your blood splatter or anything. It didn't try to like shoot the moon, so it didn't miss.
Yeah. I just thought everything with the Frog Brothers was like funny for the most part, and just like I don't know, I like that story. But how did you feel about it, Mike?
Well, I will just say right off the bat, right at the start when I was like, uh-oh, we're going to be following around Corey Feldman, I wasn't into that idea. I like the Frog Brothers as like this bizarre little side thing going on, poking their heads into the main movie to toss things around. And I felt like following them around is like a fool's errand. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it works, in my opinion, because they make every character kind of goofy, every character kind of wacky, every character having their own kind of quirk.
I think
feel like that's how it works.
I think if they try to make the same tone as like the original, the Frog Brothers don't work
Does
as
not
the
work.
main character. But since it's like it's like basically a different genre. Like, I think
it's
that makes
very
it
much
work.
of a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's a comedy vamp movie. Vamp comedy.
And that's why it works. Yeah, it does work following around the film. It works at the very start. Like, you have this intro that kind of establishes the tone of the movie where he's like going in and stopping like in Washington D.C. stopping like a senator vampire from feeding on another congressman.
He has vampire dentures.
Yeah, vamp dentures.
And when I first saw that, I thought it was like a nightmare sequence of him like losing his brother. But
well, in the comic book, apparently it is a nightmare sequence, but in the movie, it seems like it's real. So. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because in the movie we see like the guy the former congressman that was gonna get killed.
Yeah.
And he's got the vampire dentures as like a memento.
I think in the movie it's supposed to be real, but in the comic book it's like a dream sequence.
That I was thinking it was a dream sequence at the start too, where it was like, oh, he's worrying about losing his brother, and that's why they like got out of the game or something like that. But one of the things I really dug about the Thirst is also it kind of plays to the new age vampire kind of thing. You got the Stephanie Meyer insert romanticizing vampires, and he's like, vampires aren't to be romanticized. Yeah,
exactly.
They're the undead.
He's trying to bring back the old school vampire. Mm-hmm. Trying to get rid of that Twilight bullshit.
Yeah, and then you got a reality show host guy that isn't taking any of it seriously too.
He just
I liked that. I liked that dynamic going on.
Yeah.
And it really rung through how much Feldman loves this character because he
does it, man.
Plays it so well. Yeah. That mumble.
It's so good. It's so good.
Every time someone's like doing something,
yeah.
He's so good at it.
He's like he makes a face the whole movie.
He makes
like his
face,
mouth is always like
I don't know. He makes the
it's
Frog
like,
Brother face.
Yeah, it's just like always like I don't know how to even explain it.
It's so fucking good. There's so many. I love all the like goofy like gadgets he has in this.
Yeah, he's got the
super
holy water.
Yeah, he's got super
guns.
soakers and he's got like water balloon gun. They're like water balloon guns, and it's crazy.
It was fun to actually see him trying to use the garlic bolos as well.
There was like the little montage of him like trying to train or whatever. That shit was funny. I thought that was
good. It's just so much better.
That's one thing I have to say is that while I'm not as big of a fan of the third one as it seems like you guys might be, if there's one thing it has in spades, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's something the second one was lacking hugely because the Feldman character is just there for exposition dump. He's got like 3 jokes and that's it. And there's like one other fun scene when the girl finds out she's a vampire. And the intro when he kicks the head.
You almost ran out of breath there, dude.
It's because I wanted to get all of it out in one breath because there's so little of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I for the Thirst for me, there's just it feels like so much empty space to me. Like when I look back at that movie, I'm like, not much really happened to me. When I was going through the synopsis, I had to like name little things here and there about like, oh, he meets the guy that makes the weapons, and it's like it feels like so many things are just uneventful and nothing's really coming of them. But it's like you're carried through, and it's a fun time. But it just, man, I didn't feel like there was much of a story. There's a vampire going around turning other people into vampires, and Corey Feldman stops him, and there's like not much else going on other than that, in my opinion. Like I felt like there's a lot of flashbacks to the first one to try and like set up some character stuff, and I wasn't that into that.
Yeah, see, I think that's part of it is that you didn't watch the first one when you were younger, and you don't connect to it as much. Yeah, it doesn't connect to you as much. Whereas like I could probably see this not being that great of a movie because of that, but like I've seen the first one so many times, and since I was young, so like it felt real good. And I loved all the
real good.
Yeah, I loved all the flashbacks, even some of the dialogue where he brought up like Michael and Star, and just
this one just felt like, even if you don't like it that much, it just felt like a real sequel to the first one. Like the second one just seemed like a shitty like sci-fi knockoff of Lost Boys or something. Like the quality was terrible. There was like almost no reference to like anything from the first one. This one is just like everything. It's just like it seemed more connected. Yeah, in my opinion.
Had that fucking Batman comic.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He had the comic.
I don't know if you connected with that either. It was
I only knew about it because of the flashback. Yeah, I didn't remember it from the first one.
Yeah, that was
in the comic shop when they first met.
That was what Homeboy was looking for. Right?
Yeah, that's why he wouldn't sell that one.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And see, I think you hit the nail on the head where it's like, I don't have that same connection.
Or the stake into the heart.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, dude. Because I don't have that kind of connection to the first one, the third one, where it is kind of being the true sequel and reliving those memories.
It doesn't mean anything to you on that. Whereas all those little flashbacks, all the little even, the comic being there, and they don't explain that until later on. Like when he goes to sell some of his comics and stuff, they show that, and it's like they don't mention it right away. But I don't know, I just remembered.
Yeah,
and then they bring it up later, obviously.
I think that the flashbacks were perfect because there weren't too many of them. Like I think if they would have done more, it just would have been like, did you even have a movie? Or are you just cutting up these movies to...
And you see, that's kind of the vibe I was getting, is because there was so much stuff that just felt like empty space. Like there was things going on, but they were like things of no consequence and no importance to me.
I just think there wasn't,
there were still fun things happening. There were still jokes. There were still kills. There were still things happening, but it was just like... I would have liked a little more setup for the villain, learn a little more about him, because
about that villain.
I thought I liked him too, because he reminded me more of the villain from the first one, where he felt like a guy in charge. He felt like a guy with a mission, trying to get something done, and I was more interested in like, what's his end game, what's his goal, and they kind of
make everybody a vampire, dude.
Well, they just kind of spill it at the end, where it's like, oh, it turns out this is the head vampire, and he was actually going to kill him to become the new head vampire, and he's building a vampire army.
Then it gets weird. Like, was he building a vampire army? Did he want because like for a minute he was like, there's too many. And
well, see, that's what the current leader is saying. DJ guy was like wanting to usurp him and kill him and become the new leader and lead a vampire army.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I would have been way more interested in like hearing more about that going on in the movie. Yeah. Like learning more about who they're facing, what kind of threats they're dealing with, and stuff like that. But it's like it would have made the fights cooler too, of being like, oh, this is that lady vampire that did that thing early in the movie, or oh, that's the big tough vampire that did that early in the movie. But it's like, no, they all have their like one moment and then they're dead. And it's like, I'm like, man, it would have been nice to like get a little bit more. Get a little bit more, because they do some things, but get a little bit more out of those
There
villains.
Mike goes again talking about pooping. Classic Mike.
Jesus Christ.
Doo-doo. It's like shit and standing up, am I right? Such a
Do we
Mike
already
move.
have too many in jokes for Back for More? We're only 12 episodes in.
I mean, it's gonna get worse. So there's gonna be so by like episode 40, no one's gonna have any idea what we're talking about.
They're gonna have to listen to the rest.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. That's just how it goes, man. Jesus. I don't know, man. I didn't really care about. I mean, like the vampires were cool in that one, but like in this movie, it's like more about the Frog Brothers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it didn't like affect me in that way. Like I don't really care.
I would have liked to have known more about what they were up against.
The undead, bro.
Well,
vampires.
Yeah, vampires. That's what the whole fucking movie's about, Mike.
But it felt like this thing definitely dipped more into the vampire lore and the world more than the past ones. It's like it has a flashback to the fucking 1023 AD or something like that.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Like there's definitely more going on that I felt like could have been dipped into a little bit more throughout the movie rather than just clumped at the end. And that ending, while I felt like it was leagues better than the second movie, again, the vampire leader, the current one that was like the little kid, goes through like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's like, at first he's trying to feed him blood to turn Corey Feldman into a vampire. I'm like, oh, is he like trying to change him into one? And then he goes, no, there's too many vampires now. I want you to keep killing them. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought he was trying to turn him into one. And then after that, he's like, here, your brother, kill your brother. And I'm like, what is this guy even doing? Like, no wonder this guy got fucking kidnapped by a DJ. Like, this is the fucking show he's running. I just didn't get it.
I mean, I don't understand that part, but like, I don't know. That just didn't. Like I said, it was more about the Frog Brothers, and I really didn't care what the end game was. I just wanted them to fucking win.
If it was more about the Frog Brothers, then I didn't need a flashback to 1023 AD. I agree.
I don't think that needed to be in the movie at all.
I didn't even need a Stephanie Meyer twist where it turns out he's actually the leader. Like, it would have been cool just to have a really nice boss battle where his brother comes in and saves him. And his brother kills the head vampire to stop him from being a half vampire. Like, I would have been totally okay with that. But instead they, like, clump all this stuff at the end where it's like, man, you could have drip-fed this to me a little more throughout the movie to make it more interesting and keep me interested in the other side of things. Instead, I was, like, just following around this, like, condensed sitcom into an ending fight. That's what I mean. This feels like a show pitch.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this movie wouldn't be the pilot, it would be like the first season condensed. Like, this was the pitch where it's like, he's got to get a team together, he's got to track down the head vampire, and oh, there's a twist. like 3 episodes from the end, and the head vampire gets away, and his brother's loyalties calls into question. But it's like it doesn't. It just had to condense everything down too much, and so I just didn't get a good feeling out of it by the end of it.
God, you're so weird. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read a couple reviews of this movie before we wrap it up.
All right.
This one I kind of agree with. I'd be lying if I said that at least on some level I didn't honestly enjoy this movie. This is for the third one, obviously.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna go into this. Who gives a fuck about the second one?
Yeah.
I really don't care about the second one. The Tribe was a big step down from the original Lost Boys, but The Thirst brings back both Frog Brothers for one more cheese fest of vampire slaying action and bad puns. In a B-movie way, I actually love Lost Boys: The Thirst and legitimately wanted another film. I agree. Fans of Lost Boys, The Frog Brothers, and bad B-movies about vampires will love this. I agree with that. I think that's a good review. And that pretty much sums up the movie, in my opinion. It's not like a great movie, but I think if you want like a funny, like legit sequel to The Lost Boys, I think this is the one.
Yeah.
Skip the fucking second one.
But I think this also has a bit of the Blade 2 thing, where watching the first one makes it better.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
No, I think this one even more so. Like, I don't think this movie even stands on its own at all. Like, I don't think you can watch this movie without at least having, a reference to the first one.
Yeah.
At all.
And that's
the
probably...
flashbacks, you would just be like, what is happening?
What does that mean?
And that's the fucking chair I'm sitting in. Because those flashbacks happened, and I was like, oh, I kind of remember that scene in the comic book shop.
Yeah, I don't think this movie is possible to like. I don't think you can like it if you don't like the original. Or if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Literally doesn't make sense.
Well, I think we've established what my votes are going to be. Well, I think we've established what everyone's votes are going to be. Should we just pull the trigger and go through it?
Oh, I got one more.
More?
It's not like important or anything. It's just the fight with Lars and the fucking big bouncer vampire.
That was pretty tough.
He punched his tooth out, and then he saw it come back. Yeah, but then he was like, "I've been waiting 3,000 years for a good fight."
Yeah.
And then he just fucking rips his
goddamn
guts.
heart out.
Yeah, punches through his body with the heart coming out.
But then when the camera guy is explaining it to Corey Feldman, he's like, I'd like to see that footage.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And the camera guy even says, he'd like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to love about the movie. There really is.
Yeah. So we want to just wrap this up and say
all right, so let's go around for Lost Boys 2.
Let's
The
do
Lost
2.
Tribe.
Let's do 2 first. Who wants to go first?
The Lost Tribe.
I'll go first. Thumbs down. That movie was terrible. Almost nothing to like about it except for the Tom Savini scene, a little bit of the effects. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it for me. Fat Tim Capello. That's it though. Thumbs down. Shitty knockoff of the original. Just horrible quality overall. Just sounded bad, looked bad, except for those effects, obviously. But I don't know where all that budget went.
Tom Savini,
Corey
Feldman, and licensing Kryle's sister.
How do you feel about this movie, Brian?
I am a thumbs down for exactly everything that you just said.
Yeah, it's just not good, man.
And,
let me guess. What
thumbs up? No, I'm gonna be a thumbs down.
I don't think it deserves 3 thumbs down, so I think I'm gonna
change my vote.
Yeah, you fucking asshole.
But no, it's totally a thumbs down. I do think this had more stuff going for it than you guys did. I also liked the changing into a vampire as a rescue mission tactic kind of thing.
I mean,
and I did like the idea of an overprotective brother kind of dynamic in a vampire movie too, but it's just there's nothing there. It's like you truck through the first half and then you sit around waiting for the second. Like there's special effects and an intro sequence, and that's it. In my opinion,
few good ideas, all executed poorly.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a don't watch it.
But as for
absolutely don't watch it.
The Thirst Boys,
the Thirst Boys. I'm gonna go. I have a caveat.
Yeah. Same.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I'm gonna give it a thumb down.
Yeah.
But this is like just a 60% thumb down. There's a lot that I did like about this movie. I liked a lot of the cheese. I liked the comedy aspect of it. I liked the spin on the new age vampire, like you're romanticizing the undead stuff, and I like Feldman's character a lot. But again, I just felt like there was so much empty air in here, and I felt like I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't enough going on for me to like. I was just as zoned out of this one as the other one, but I was laughing along the way. I wasn't just zoned out with no emotions. I was zoned out but laughing. It was very much a turn my brain off movie, which isn't a positive thing for me though.
All right, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, but only if you're a pretty big fan of the original.
Yep.
That's the only way that you could like this movie. That's the only way that I could consciously say that yes, you should watch this movie is if you're a big fan. And I would say just skip the second one.
Yeah, there's
Just
no
watch
reason
it.
to
And
ever
I'm not usually a guy like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. I embrace sequels. Obviously, this podcast is this was my idea. I want to watch the shitty sequels but like there's absolutely nothing to the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So watch the original Lost Boys. If you love that movie, watch it a couple more times.
Watch like the first 10 minutes of The Tribe.
Maybe watch
until they kill Tom Savini.
But I would even save that for later. Just like watch original Lost Boys. If you love that, watch Thirst Boys. And you will probably be a fan of it if you're a fan of the original. Then, yeah, you can watch the first 10 minutes of the second one. If you
I
want
would even
to.
just say, like, just look up a clip show on YouTube. Like, just look up the kills. Because that's
the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Because you'll probably even get the plot of the movie out of it.
Yeah.
Just watching that.
But it's just, yeah, second one's a bad movie. Third one is arguably a better movie. But you're only going to like it if you like the original one a lot. So, yeah, that's mine. Thumbs up if you love the original one. Brian, I'm assuming it's the same thing, but
I mean,
say it.
It really, I have thumbs up riding off of love of the first movie.
Yeah.
This doesn't stand on its own.
It absolutely does not stand on its own.
Just all too many, the flashbacks make it for me.
A
lot of that.
It just ties it all together.
The comic
I don't know.
at the end, puts it in Sam's grave.
Yeah.
Thumbs up only if you love the first one.
Yep.
Otherwise, don't fucking watch it. Not
Just
worth
don't.
it.
Yeah, just don't.
There's no fat or muscular Tim Capello.
Yeah,
he's
he's
not even in it
at all. I seriously want to make Lost Boys 4 Tim Capello.
All right.
I want it to specifically be about him.
Hell yeah.
I want to know what he is. I want to dig into what he is, man.
He's a werewolf.
I mean, I feel like he can't cost that
He's
much.
too. We already talked about this. Dude.
Too greasy.
He's too shiny and
What if he's a
probably
ghost?
He could be a ghost, maybe.
I don't think those ghosts exist in those worlds because like vampires and werewolves coexist.
Yeah, it's true.
Not coexist because they hate each other,
But
Yeah.
they exist
share
in
a
the same
universe.
worlds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, I don't think ghosts matter. Nobody cares about them.
what about mummies?
I don't know.
I mean, he's definitely not a mummy.
yeah, he's not a mummy.
He's just.
I don't know.
He's very greasy, and you wouldn't even be able to wrap him up.
Remember the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser? That mummy was pretty greasy at the end of it. The bald guy,
I don't remember.
the guy that was Darkman in the Darkman sequels.
Darkman.
Darkman.
No, I don't remember. I actually do want to rewatch the that Mummy after seeing that horrible Mummy movie, because like I've seen a lot of people rewatch it since, and they're like, it's a fun action movie. Fuck it,
No, yeah,
it's
that's,
fine.
That's the vibe. Man.
That I just don't remember.
I want to watch
anything.
Scorpion King again.
I want to watch. I'm pretty sure there's a Scorpion King sequel that Ron Perlman's in. And I
There's
want to see that one.
Get the
three.
fuck
Are
out.
there
Get
like
the
three
fuck.
Scorpion
Did I just
Kings?
pick your next pick, Mike?
No, because
Oh.
I don't think there's enough to like We're lucky that we did 2 movies today.
Oh yeah. If we would have just done
Just
the
one
Tribe,
or the other.
Oh my! I would have had to watch it. Number one, I would have had to watch it multiple times because the first time I was just like, "Oh my god!" Oh,
So it would have been
Jesus
that way
Christ.
every watch.
Well, yeah,
I
but
watched
like,
this 3 times and I still have nothing new to say about it.
I would have had to like study it so intensely. I would have had to go like scene by scene, just like forcing my eyes to be open and just like, what happens in this movie? What could we talk about? No, yeah, it would have been a fucking 25-minute episode if it were just the fucking Tribe.
Yeah.
I think we could have done a full episode on the Thirst, probably. That was more interesting,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, we
But-
would have been stretching though, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
One thing I do know, or one thing I think is, I want to find a movie that you two disagree on now.
It'd be hard.
There are not
probably.
many, yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We have very similar taste.
Yeah, that's the thing that's getting me is like that's one of the reasons I feel like Kyle is a significant member because he doesn't share.
It's too
my
bad he doesn't
perspective.
fucking show up.
He doesn't share my perspective. We
No.
all know that. He
Yeah.
doesn't share your guys's. But, it's
But
like
my
that-
problem with Kyle is that I don't think he even gives a shit about, like, I will give. That's bad to say. I don't want to say that he doesn't give a shit, but like, I feel like he already doesn't like the aesthetic that we like. Like, he's already off the bat like, I'm not gonna like give this movie that much of a chance. Maybe I'm just like putting words into his mouth. But
it sounds like you're talking about me.
Well, I mean you too. But I don't know. I don't like. I will like Brian did. Would you watch? You watched the first 10 minutes of his last pick they got.
Valley
of Dolls. Yeah, Beyond the Valley of Dolls.
See, and that's something I'm interested in too. Is like I want to do like we've done a lot of horror, sci-fi, action stuff so far. I wouldn't mind like dipping into like boring movies.
I'm fine. I would have been fine with that pick if I could have watched it, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like for the most part it's gonna be horror sci-fi because like that's
where all the sequels are.
Those genres.
I was literally looking for boring movie sequels, and there's like Godfather, and that's like it.
Yeah, I would like to do like a straight up comedy at some point. But, like I've heard, I mean, one of my friends does a podcast. One of my coworker, he does a podcast. That he picks a lot of sequels. He actually claims that I ripped him off. Well, you can go fuck yourself, Sean. Fuck you.
God damn.
Yeah, I'll fight you, dude. I'll fight you at
Podcast
work.
war.
Podcast war, dude. But he said that like comedies probably aren't that good to do because it's just like
it's just a comedy.
It's just funny. Like it's just like, yeah, that part was funny. Yep, that part was funny. I do want to try it though. Like, I want to prove him wrong. I would like to do a straight up comedy at some point.
Ace Ventura 2? That's the first one that popped into my mind.
Maybe that, or I mean, I kind of want to pick a Friday sequel. I don't know which one. I feel like Next Friday is just like too good.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have to be.
No
Friday
joke. When you said a Friday sequel, I'm like, what? Like Friday the 13th movie? Like, I guess Manhattan's kind of a comedy.
No. I mean, we should do a Friday the 13th movie at some point.
I'm sure. Yeah.
There's so many sequels.
I
mean, we have to pick one of them.
We're like saving the big ones for like moments and stuff like that. Like, we're not gonna hit all the ones you expect right off the bat.
Like, if I fucking Joe Dirt
who fucking
2
saw.
We could do Joe Dirt 2. That'd be a good pick, I think.
Oh man.
Is
that an hour-long podcast though?
That's the issue with comedies. It's like here's some jokes they told. The story really doesn't matter at all.
We might have to, if we go like, okay, see, I don't
We'd
know.
have to do a double. We'd have to do Ace Ventura 2 and the one with Ace Ventura Jr. Or the two Dumb and Dumber sequels. We'd have to do a double.
I don't want to do those.
I'm just gonna.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck happened?
Was sitting in my lap.
You're just dropping shit all over the place.
Yeah, we'd have to do a double or something. Maybe like we haven't done like a competition yet.
I could do that. I mean, we kind of do when we do like we just did a competition. I think
basically.
This episode will probably be called Versus. It'll be the tribe versus
the Lost
Boys.
Tribe versus the Thirst Boys.
That's a good title. That's what it's going to be called. You got anything else to say?
I got to write down another movie I thought of.
Oh shit! Oh shit! We're brainstorming right now.
It's not.
We got ideas.
It actually has nothing to do with any of the things we mentioned.
Jesus. All right, we'll be back for more.
Oh, what you know, another goddamn sequel show. Oh, what you know, another goddamn sequel show. Oh, what you know.